Welcome back. Should the mentally ill be forced to get help? Would it have prevented a former postal worker from killing 8 people, including herself, in California last week? And if Andrea Yates was forced to seek treatment, would her 5 children still be alive? New Mexico is considering allowing family members and doctors to seek court orders forcing mental patients into treatment. Here to tell us why he thinks that's a bad idea is Michael Allen. He's a senior lawyer with the Bazelon Center for Mental Health Law in Washington. He joins us live tonight from Albuquerque. Mr. Allen, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Now, it seems to me people who are mentally ill, almost by definition, have difficulty making clear, informed, rational decisions. Why shouldn't the people around them who love them and know them well be able to make those decisions when they can't?
Well, I think, Tucker, that fundamentally misunderstands the problems with mental health issues in this country. The Surgeon General has told us that in any given year, 1 out of 5 Americans will suffer the symptoms of mental health problems. And certainly, people with mental health problems still retain the ability to make decisions about what's best for them and what's best for their families.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Some people with some mental health problems, of course, do. People who are depressed. But people who have severe schizophrenia cannot make decisions for themselves. I know that because I know some of them, but also because I live in a city and I see them on the street, and they're incapable of making those decisions. They're incapable of knowing where they are. Why shouldn't we step in as a matter of compassion and help them get better?
Oh, we absolutely should, and there is proven technology that allows us to do that in places like New York City. The Pathways to Housing program works with people who are actively mentally ill, on the streets, perhaps substance abusing, alcohol and drugs, people who may have HIV and long criminal histories. Pathways to Housing doesn't use force to get people into treatment. Pathways to Housing uses the open hand and an invitation to come in, to build a stake in the system and to build a stake in their own wellness.
Okay, I mean,
force is not what's necessary.
Okay, I'm against using force against people under almost any circumstances. However,
and I understand that libertarians like you, Tucker, should be particularly concerned.
And I am particularly concerned, but I have some sense of what schizophrenia
and overriding their decisions about mental health.
But people with schizophrenia cannot make rational decisions. I know you know that because I know you've been around them. They also don't like to take their meds because of the side effects, which are unpleasant, as you know. But people with untreated schizophrenia do sometimes dangerous things. They hurt themselves often. They sometimes hurt other people. So why is it compassionate to let them spin off into their craziness, lie in their own filth on the street, and murder other people occasionally, when we could stop that by forcing them to take their meds? It's pretty clear.
But it's not really just about medications, Tucker. As you said yourself, medications often have very severe side effects,
yes.
And psychopharmacologists will tell you that they don't understand why the medicines work. Fundamentally, what people with schizophrenia and other mental health issues need is a range of mental health services that can keep them well and can keep the public safe.
Right.
The lie of Kendra's law, which is being considered in New Mexico now and appears to be going down to defeat, is that forced treatment will keep the public safe by keeping people with mental illnesses safe and well. And it simply doesn't work. Every scientific study that's been done on outpatient commitment has indicated that the court order is not what helps. It's the availability of services.
I think you're taking an extreme ideological position on this, with all due respect, because you know as well as I that there are some cases where people are a threat to themselves, obviously, possibly a threat to other people, and they are unwilling, because of their mental illness, to seek or accept treatment. In those cases, and I'm willing to believe there are not many of those, but we know there are some, why can't we have a mechanism to force that person to get help for his own sake and for our sake? Shouldn't we have the ability to do that when we really need to?
Once we've identified the people, Tucker, if we can do that, the technology that's available in terms of assertive community treatment, mobile outreach teams, persistent persuasion to people about getting right with their lives and overcoming their mental health issues is what works. The force not only is ineffective with respect to the subjects, but it will also have the effect of pushing other people who are waiting for mental health services to the back of the line, thereby creating even further crises.
Are you telling me you can reason with someone who's
anticipatory services?
Someone who's having a manic episode cannot be reasoned with. Are you telling me that you can reason with someone who's having a manic episode? Because I think you know you can't.
Absolutely. And peer support services around the country, that is, supports provided by people who themselves have had mental health crises, is among the most effective intervention and is among the best public safety issue involved. Starting with Memphis, Tennessee, the police department has used the principles of peer support and assertive community treatment with its crisis intervention team, so that we're not talking about this as a police or public safety issue. This should be a public health issue.
It should be, but sometimes it is a public safety issue, and sometimes people are just, and I say this with real sadness, but it's true, really, really crazy. And you have to calm them down, slow them down, and keep them from hurting themselves and us. I just, you know, I've seen it. Anyway, Michael Allen.
Absolutely. Every state provides for inpatient
care for those people. I don't know why.
Inpatient care, and for people who meet a dangerousness standard, the state has the authority to take people in.
They're still on the street right around here. And
we're talking of people who aren't dangerous, who haven't broken the law, and by and large, people who are competent to make their own decisions. That's what should scare libertarians, Tucker.
It does scare me. I just see the threat on the streets, and I don't believe a compassionate society is one that lets people, again, live in their own filth and bark at passersby. Nothing dignified about that. It's terrible, and we should do something about it, even if it violates the principles of libertarianism. It pains me to say that, but I can't see another option. Anyway, I've made my point, and you've made yours, and I appreciate it. Michael Allen, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for your time.
Still to come, never before has Duck, Duck, Goose seemed so threatening. 6-year-olds accused of sexual harassment. The unbelievable story coming up next.